What's happening, people? Tom here and welcome back to another video. Now today is actually the day. I know I said that in the last video, but this time I mean it. Now this is something that has been heavily requested on the channel. Every single video I upload is where's your custom tactics, Tom? Where are your custom tactics? And where are your custom tactics? Well, now they are finally here. In this video, I'm going to be showing you my two formations that I use and how I use them and explain how I use them in games to win more games. Let's get straight into the video and I'm going to explain a few things as we go along. Okay, let's go. Right, the main two formations we are going to cover today is the 4-2-3-1 and the 4-4-2. I know you can see on the left here that I've got a 4-1-2-1-2 set up. I'll be honest, I do not have a clue how to play it right now. I'm trying to learn the narrow style of play, but it kind of goes against all the logic that I normally apply in FIFA. So I'm trying to learn it, as it seems like a pretty good tactic in FIFA 22. However, I don't understand it just yet. So I'm going to teach you the 4-2-3-1 and the 4-4-2, and I'll tell you my way of playing and how we're going to use this tactic to win more games. Let's start with the 4-4-2, the hard Brexit formation. That isn't actually hard Brexit when I play it. Defensive style stays on balanced. The width is going to go up to 45. The reason I use the width like this, I just narrow it up in defense a little bit. I don't think you should be too slim. Don't think you should be too wide at the same time. I think 45 works well. In depth, this is something big and this is something they've changed in the patch. However, I haven't noticed the change how I wanted to notice it. They said in the patch that anything above 70 depth now means that your players do not go back into their own box and sit on the edge of their box when you're defending. Now this sounded good for me because I love pressing on this game. I'm always trying to win the ball back really, really high up. I hate sitting around waiting for the ball. I'd rather try and dominate the person I'm playing. So I thought, you know what? 70 depth sounds perfect. However, there is a problem with this that we're going to get onto in the attacking part. So my build-up play stays balanced. A few people use fast build-up if I'm right in certain formations, but for me, I like doing a lot of my stuff manually. I like using the L1 and the R1 to trigger my runs either long or short, so I keep it on balance. Now, this is where the problem is, and this is, I feel like, a problem a lot of people don't know about FIFA yet, but I'm here to tell you. If there's one thing you learn from this custom tactics video, it is the chance creation has to be on direct passing. I promise you, this is the key. You watch every single pro player play, they will have direct passing on. Now, this is where it gets interesting. What direct passing does, as we see on the right, it says once a team enters the attacking zone, possession players will create chances by making runs for passes into space behind the opposing backline. So what they're going to do is going to start running into space and pinning the defenders back. I'm not sure EA are aware of this, but what this direct passing does is it affects the depth and kind of cancels it out. So basically, if you have direct passing on, you could have 100 depth and it's still not going to work. You're going to feel like you're on 40 depth the whole time. I've been testing this out in pro games and it's 100% true. So if you use direct passing, what it will do is pin your opponents back onto their own 6-yard box. And I'll be honest, I haven't found a way of stopping it yet. I still play the high depth because I still think that it can help in the other zones of the pitch. But the second they start attacking you and they get into your half, you're going to notice that your defenders will drop very, very deep against someone that's using this direct passing tactic. I can promise you that 95% of pros are using this right now, and I don't think it's going to go anywhere because I don't think EA know how to patch it. They've brought this tactic in and they don't really know what they're going to do with it. So what I do is I play 70 depth. Now this is because in Weekend League, a lot of people probably won't use direct passing against me, so I can still squeeze pretty well. And in pro games, I feel like it can help to an extent still. Maybe when you're trying to press your opponent in his half, the 70 depth can help. It means your defenders are naturally higher up the pitch. But I've noticed when they attack me, there's nothing I can do to stop my players sitting on the edge of the box. I'll be honest, I think this is the way FIFA 22 is going to be from now. It's something that we're all just going to have to adapt to. I don't think EA are going to change it. So my mentality from here on out is I'm just going to have to learn how to play it. The key with direct passing is that you have to build your play up and then you're going to look for quick passes into your strikers once they pin the opponents back, and there should be an extra pass that goes on. If you see my Weekend League games, you'll see a lot of the time I play two players up front, I use a direct passing and I pass from one striker to the other in the box, that extra pass we call it, and then you get your shot off. Now on to the width, we're going to increase the width to 58. I used the 4-4-2 because, as I said, anywhere between 45 and 60 either way should work. I like having my wingers still out wide and then they can create a bit of space to bring it inside. I don't want them coming in straight away on this game. I don't think it works too well. Now, because the game is a bit of a park the bus simulator, I've decided that I need a lot of players in the box. So we're going back to 7. If someone's been watching me for a long time, you probably know I use this every year. The thought process is to basically get midfielders making runs in the box instead of just standing there too deep to create any impact. Because this game is full of defenders in the box, it's full of people parking 2 banks of 4 across their box. I've decided I need players running in and causing problems. So 7 players in the box. This should mean that your wingers and the centre mids feel close enough to the strikers in a 4-4-2. I've now changed my corners to 2 because the corner glitch has been patched as far as I'm aware. There is still some variants that work, so definitely look into your corner routines. There's still ways of scoring like that. But I've gone for 2 on corners and 2 for free kicks. And then we go into the instructions. You see in my team, this is not the team that I'm fully committed on. Once I've committed to building my full team, I'm going to release a video explaining every little thing about it before we get into our competitions again. But yeah, let's start with Schmeichel in goal. So we go Schmeichel, he comes for crosses. That is what I always do. I don't really notice too much of a difference, but I have him on there just because I feel like it. And then for the fullbacks, we have stay back whilst attacking and overlap on my Tau and Delaney right now. Centre backs we don't touch at all. We just have them on stay back and stay back. I think everyone does that. That back 4 is the most bog standard instructions you're ever going to see. And then we go on to the wingers. We're looking at Lionel Messi here. I have both wingers on the same instructions. So it's come back on defence and get in the box for cross. The reason I have these on come back on defence is mainly because when I defend, I feel like you need your midfield 4 to be in a flat line together. I don't really need Messi or Neymar much higher because what I normally do is grab hold of them and then go and push the fullback. If someone switches it or if someone is playing around, keeping possession, I normally just grab Messi or Neymar and just pull them out anyway. But I need to make sure the other midfielder on the other side stays in line with the rest. So they're both on comeback on defence, get in the box for cross. The reason behind the get in the box for cross is basically if I'm attacking one wing with Messi, I need Neymar joining the attack the other end, and it works vice versa as well. We go into the centre mids now, and we have stay back whilst attacking on both of them and cover centre. It's a little bit different for me. I know I normally have one on balanced, but what I've noticed this year is the centre mids getting beyond the striker isn't as effective as it was in FIFA 21. That third man run, it works, but not to the same extent. And I feel like sometimes when you have them on balanced, you kind of lose your shape in attack where one of them goes too far and then you run out of options. I really do want to be able to attack a bit more my centre mids. Right now I can't do it. I think I'm also not helped by the fact that Renato Sanchez and Fofana, they're not the best attacking options. I've definitely had better in this game. So if you do have someone that works a little bit better, maybe a Kevin De Bruyne, it's definitely worth putting balanced on him or get forward and testing that out. But for me, whilst I've got 2 limited centre midfielders, I keep them on both stay back whilst attacking. The same instruction applies for Fofana as well. Then we're going to the strikers and we have here balanced on everything. Now, you're probably thinking, Tom, why have you done that? Why have you not put any instruction on? I've played around with a lot of these and my main thought process is you need them on balance to find the extra pass. We've done some testing when they've been on drift wide or stay central. They don't really work for the extra pass. Stay central, they're too close to the centre back. And on drift wide, they're too far away to find the other pass to a striker. The main thing you want to do when you get in the box is be passing between them. So maybe with R9, sometimes when you think, oh yeah, that's a shooting opportunity, if you keep an eagle eye out, I hope that's a saying, eagle eye, there's normally an extra pass open in the box. It'll take a bit of practice. It'll take you some time to learn and understand this. Something that I've been practicing for a few months now. But you'll see there's always an extra pass that opens up when you're waiting around in the box. So for this reason, they're both on balanced. Also, if you want to go full wrap mode, you can put these on comeback on defence if you really want to play the meta. However, I don't use it too much because I'd rather press. I could just sit in there and park the bus, but I don't really like that way of playing. So I try and press. For that reason, they aren't on comeback on defence. It just keeps them that little bit higher when I'm playing. But that's basically my 4-4-2. It's fairly basic. The main key to it is the direct passing. I promise you that. If there's one thing you're going to put on out of all of these, it's direct passing. What I would say is try this tactic out and then experiment it to adjust to your own game. You're probably not going to like absolutely everything, but there's certain instructions and tactics that you'll definitely pick up from there. Now, formation number 2, which is definitely my secondary formation and something that I probably use when I'm being a real rat, trying to hold on to a lead, I'm trying to see a game out. It's the 4-2-3-1. Now this is the 4-2-3-1 narrow, something that Tech's introduced in FIFA 19 where everyone started using it from then. And it still works in this game, but I use it as a conservative formation as opposed to one that I would start on. So we go defensive is balanced, the width is 42, the depth is 58. I haven't gone as high on this because obviously we're holding on to a lead, so I'm not pressing as much right now. Build-up play is balanced. We have chance creation, direct passing, which remember is the key to everything. However, what I would say build-up play is sometimes this formation can be fairly slow. And if you're finding it fairly slow, fairly hard to create chances, stick on a fast build-up and that should definitely help. Gets your players running forward a bit quicker, ups the urgency a little bit. So I'd say experiment between the fast build-up and the balance, depending on what kind of player you are. The width, again, is 58. The players in the box, we've reduced to 6. I'm sure there's a massive difference between 6 and 7. It's probably more of just a mental thing for me. Corners are on 1, free kicks are on 2. As I said, we're holding on to a lead here. This isn't my attacking formation at all. This is very much something that I would use from maybe the 65th or 70th minute if I didn't feel comfortable in my 4-4-2. So, the player instructions real quick. They are the same as the 4-4-2. Comes for crosses on goalkeeper, stay back, overlap on the fullbacks, stay back on the centre-backs, and then the DMs are going to be stay back whilst attacking and cover centre again. That's basically for them to try and protect the ball into strikers' feet at all costs. We need them to not allow the ball to go to the striker, so they don't need to move. They're staying right there. Now, the 3 attacking midfielders. We have Prime R9 right now. I know I'm a bit of a pay-to-win guy, but it just gets like that as a pro FIFA player. I have to do it. He is on comeback on defence. The wingers, not the wing-backs, the wingers are on comeback on defence as well. And they're on balanced crossing runs. I don't need them getting in the box for cross and busting a lung to potentially set up a counter-attack. They're just on balance. So Messi and Neymar on balance. And then for a striker, something a little bit different. The reason I do this is because if I'm time wasting in this formation or if I'm trying to hold on to a lead, I have Mbappe, my striker, on drift wide. Now the striker's on drift wide because when the wingers pick it up, I want Mbappe to be running into the channels straight away. There's only one person up front as well, so he has to drift either side. My thought process is, if you use them really OP through balls, the L1, R1 triangle, you get him running out wide. Also, quick plug whilst I'm here, if you want to learn more about them through balls, I did that 5 pro tips video. And them through balls are something that I break down, something that are very, very usable to this day. So make sure you check that video out if you don't know what I'm talking about. But them through balls will work if Mbappe's drifting wide, going past the centre-back and the left-back, or past the centre-back and the right-back. So the 4-2-3-1 is more of a wrap formation. It's more of a seeing the game out, more time wasting. The 4-4-2 is something that I start with every single game. The reason I haven't gone over the 4-2-2 today is because I'm still working that one out. And I'm not going to tell you stuff that I don't know the answer to. The 4-1-2-1-2 narrow, I'm not going to tell you either because I'm not confident in it myself yet. And if I'm not confident in it, I'm not going to be telling you boys stuff that I don't really know. So we're going to skip the 4-1-2-1-2. We're going to skip the 4-2-2 as well, mainly because I don't really know what I'm doing. I'll leave it on the screen now. I'm not going to talk about it, but that is what I use for my attacking tactic. Let me know in the comments how you find these custom tactics. Let me know in the comments if you use direct passing and notice a difference in your gameplay. That's all from me today. I hope you all enjoyed watching, and I'll see you all very soon.